One of the things I wanted to bring up was when you're mowing your lawn, you gave me a few tips on what I need to do, but why don't you explain how we talked about how you want to mow your lawn?
Sure. I mean, if you guys ever go past a golf course or even like a town baseball field or even the Twin Stadium, how they get that checkerboard look, that's kind of the sign of a pretty prestigious lawn. You typically want to go, if you go north and south one week, then go east and west the following week, or even go at a diagonal. But try to follow the same lines that you mowed maybe a couple weeks past. But again, do it exactly the opposite direction as you did the week before. It gives it that checkerboard look. It really makes it look like you've really paid attention to detail.
Now, does that help the grass, though?
Yeah, it probably does, so you don't get ruts. I mean, some people you see, they mow the same spot all the time, especially you go around trees and it gets rutted because the tires are always turning at the same spot. If you go a different direction, you will cut back on the amount of damage you do to the turf there.
Pretty long, and I always bag it when it's that. I don't leave big clumps like that, right?
Right.
So I cut it, took care of it, recycled it, and then I put the plug in and did the mulch. So I cut the grass again within like 5 days.
Yep.
And that's good, right? Isn't that the best if you can recycle?
That's the best because the plant, once you cut it off, will deteriorate and go back in the soil, what's the plant's looking for. If you keep begging and taking it off, the soil probably won't be as nutritious as it would be otherwise. But the worst thing you do is let it lay there and be big clumps.
Yes.
You should remow it again after it dries down a little bit. That way it chews it up again. Otherwise it lays on top of the surface and then you get thatch buildup, and that's not good.
Very good. All right.
I think some people maybe tuning into the show right now are kind of like, well, this is a radio show about real estate, but I'll tell you what, it's so important, and that's why we have Pat on quite a bit, that our first impressions. Isn't that true, Tommy? I mean, when we drive up, and that's what you see, and if that's in good shape, because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of places out there that aren't in good shape, and they're maybe overgrown, and just a little work with landscape, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. I mean, the curb appeal is the first thing that prospective buyer is going to see to make that huge financial decision. And Pat, I had a question for you. I was at a listing appointment just this last week, and we were trying to spruce up the curb appeal. And now that we're going into summer, putting in some new perennials, some new annuals, what's the best way to get that plant to really pop and get the best color
as soon as
out
we
of it?
can?
Well, a lot of people put it in the ground and they kind of forget about it. It's really important to give it some type of nutrients like Miracle-Gro or some type of fertilizer like that. And you go to any hardware store and they'll have water-soluble fertilizer for certain flowers or certain plants. So try to identify what it is and give them a good shot every couple of days.